Hello, and welcome to another Pauper Magic video. I haven't posted for a while, a few various things going on, but I kind of played a few more leagues recently, and I had in kind of around spring into summer, and a deck that I keep coming back to, I've posted I think a couple of times onto the channel, is this idea of like an Affinity and Madness mashup. The big idea of the deck is that you've got just a whole bunch of discount flying creatures. So we've got 4 2-mana 2/3s, 4 0-mana 2/3s. Let's say we've got 8. Sorry, 2 1s. We've got 8 1-mana flyers. Make that 12 1-mana flyers. So where are we? Some cost 2. These all cost 1 mana, and this is free. And I don't know how that's not the core to a good deck. Round it out, obviously Thoughtcaster's bonkers. Blood Fountain is just the ability to keep going forever. It synergizes really well with the deck. It's affinity count in your 2-color decks. You don't actually have all of your artifact lands, or all of your lands aren't artifacts. Refurb Blood Fountain is just infuriating to play against. A couple of Lorien builds to help round out the mana base. I wanted a few more ways to find non-artifact lands, so we could pretend we were playing around artifact land destruction spells. I really like the blood tokens as madness enablers, because it's much easier to use all your mana, and it's kind of than with like an abandoned attachments, for example. And the fact that this is discard 2, draw 2. Just means you can make your kitchen imps work. It's hopefully you'll see in the video. I think the flexibility you get from this is actually really valuable. And then we've got 5 removal spells, so we can actually play to control the board a bit. Kill a Writhing Chrysalis, ignore the rest, keep flying in. A couple of spell bombs to again artifact count. Draws cards. It's halfway there to Sneaky Snacker. Just kind of ties them together. Sideboard wise. We're playing a blue deck, so we have a big pile of blue blasts, a couple of dresses to help in controlling matchups, again against people that are being very proactive with scary non-creature spells. It might be helpful to have a dress. I like Curse Mortar, especially, I guess, I've not seen many results for Terror, but ways to play creatures that you can recur with Blood Fountain and Actus removal spells seems really nice. A couple more spell bombs, because if you're playing a black artifact deck, spell bomb is just insanely valuable. When I played before, I had 2 of the discard 2 ninjas in here, and that was just a bit too greedy. Like, the deck's already good if it goes longer and it gets to be powerful. So I'm trying out Bone Shard as a couple more removal spells that you can very consistently cast with low mana and avoid falling behind. And obviously you've got with the madness stuff, all of the sneaky snacker stuff to stay ahead of it as well. I'd still prefer my cast downs in the main deck, because I don't want to, I don't want to be in a situation I've got. I need something. I need to kill something. I need to discard something like a land, something I don't want to discard. Although, as I say, the deck has a load of very cheap flyers. It does make a good use out of all this land. It's got these Blood Fountain. It's got the Lorien builds. Got Thoughtcaster, draw more cards, blood tokens, lots of ways to use mana. It does like making land drops. The bone shards aren't free, but I think it's an interesting kind of. It's another thing to try of just avoid falling behind too quickly. Anyway, this is going to be a league, and we will see how we do. Alright, so jumping into round 1, get to be on the play, and yeah. Obviously we'll keep this and just have a quick think about what to do. So it looks like turn 1 involves Spellbomb, turn 2 refurb, we don't use the second mana, and turn 3 we can Modern Age Kitchen Imp. Alternative, if we draw something to madness out, we can Modern Age turn 2, so if something else to discard a value, we can Modern Age turn 2. But it's a bit of a shame we don't get to use our second mana turn 2. But our Affinity draw is just too good. Let's see what we're up against. Hopefully a graveyard deck. So, could be Spy. I think it's maybe on. Well, I'd say the other option really would be Elves or. Yeah, Elves. Elves is less likely to not play anything. So I'm on to thinking it's probably Spy. Let's see what we draw. So another Modern Age. So if we were to Modern Age, the next turn we can Kitchen Imp and Refurb. So we're a turn slower on getting 2 damage in. We get to use all our mana. We don't have anything to discard for value this turn. Probably end up being the second Modern Age. I do kind of want to spend my mana. Trying to overly think about this, I believe. I'm going to play the Modern Age and look to discard this Modern Age and just try and use all my mana. It brings this 2/3 flyer online a bit sooner. Let's auto yield this Snacker. Go on, Snacker. Okay, definitely Modern Age. And let's pass to them. I'm expecting we're going to see a Generous Ascent. Let's see chat. Didn't see anything. So is this Gardens? Oh, it is. So it is Spy. I'm kind of glad we've got the Spell Bomb down. So we can discard the Kitchen Imp, play the Refurb. We're still kind of stuck, straggling 1 mana at this point. Well, if it is Spy, I'm happy with all the Spell Bombs I can get. So discard the Kitchen Imp, cast a Kitchen Imp. And I guess we're in a similar spot, so we're basically, do we repeat the same action and basically defer a turn? If we play the Modern Age, we'd to play the Refurb. Kind of want to just repeat the same action. I'm back into not having anything to discard. No, okay, I'll just Refurb. Master Gettin's good. Don't see any reason it matters whether we do this before or after combat. So I'll take my F6 value. After chatting through things that don't, I guess they do matter. But it's hard to. I'm not play the deck and Treasure Size, obviously something there. Pretty happy discarding. We drew 2 main deck Spell Bombs, so they kindly get in the bin. I guess the problem we're seeing is Balustrade Spy or a whatever the 3/3 is, the Saga Wildling, both kind of lock down our board, but we're gonna have 4 flyers in play next turn. Certainly punch through defenders on the ground. Can't believe we drew 2 Spell Bombs. And we get to see what's going on. So there's a Master Vandal here. So they can kill 1 of our artifacts, which they were previously probably planning with a Spell Bomb. Now it might even just be a land. So Forest. And kind of imagine. I guess they've got the next one Hydra for some reach as well. And that's. So this is a Nyxborn Hydra on defense. No, just a Winding Way, so just trying to push through. I'm quite surprised by this line, to be honest. Oh, the Quirion does help a lot though. Tap this, get 2 mana back. Let's tidy up their cards of it. So we've seen Quirion and they didn't take this. This is in play. Cast this Winding Way. And we'll cast this Gatecreeper Vine. And this forest is back in hand. So obviously we get to Munchin. Do we want to Modern Age Kitchen Imp out or play the Utrom and do nothing? Looks like we're Modern Aging out another Kitchen Imp. Here we are attacking for 6. So I guess the trick, if anything, is that we're probably attacking through an Nixborn Hydra. I guess the Ent's a problem as well, both another blocker and 5/7. So we do need to draw something to punch through at least one of them, I guess. 2 flying blockers is a lot of chump attacks. Our mana's not great. We can only cast one of these. Kind of lucky this isn't an artifact source, so they might go after it. Are they racing us? Just a huge Hydra on a Ranger. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Obviously they've got the forest, they can untap it if they do that. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Guess this plays poorly, and well, they'll have the Generous Ascent next turn. So they'll have the food to gain some life, so we're not in that much danger of just killing them. So we can discard the Snacker, crack one of our 2 spell bombs to draw a card, bring back Snacker. Yes, we're going to. Another kitchen. We're fresh out of madness. So let's just play the Monitor. I guess we can work out whether we want to attack first. We need to block with 3 toughness, which is basically the Vector Glider, which means we can only get him for. You can only attack for 6 and get in for 4, so that's not going anywhere. So let's play the Utrom. Then I've got to imagine they'll be killing a creature with a mid-map. Oh, they're not putting any creatures in the graveyard, are they? So I'll play the bridge for Thoughtcast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our artifact count is a bit sketchy. Some consideration to having an extra blue source around in play as being appealing, but we're going to need to draw. Well, I was going to say one of our removal spells, but it really has to be the cast down because of our mana situation. We can obviously kill this in combat to prevent an attack bias a turn. Doesn't look like it's going our way. Didn't really draw much interaction to stop what they've got going on. Well, I guess we did from their plan A, but we didn't draw anything to do with their plan B. If they have a spy and a vast vandal, they could spy us anyway. We won't play around what we don't know they have. It's not what to do, I guess. So it's effectively them at 15. I'm jumping with just the Vector Glider, coming to 1. You turn second, but I'll be cracking the spell bomb for the extra card. I think again, we were lucky we drew the halfway deck that dealt with parts of their plan pretty cleanly, but obviously it's a large guy. Half a deck. What did they do? they cracked the food. I think it's right to, we've not seen a spy. We need help to beat what they've kind of got going on. If you do draw a move spell, we need a bit of token to cast it. It's not looking the smoothest Dark Withering you've ever seen, is it? Yeah, I just don't see a way we're actually blocking this up to matter, so let's get on to game 2. Guess I'm going to have the bone shards, put them in for a reason. Likewise with the curse board, I know they've got these leader stampedes, but I'm going to keep them off of. Yeah, basically I want to be in on Blood Fountain, a curse board, or I think just all the moves as far as I can get. Then obviously I'll bring in some more spell bombs to deal with the plan A spat the spy thing. Happy with all of these. I guess I'm looking at cutting the Vampire's Kisses. These don't seem to necessarily do a lot. Blood Fountain, they're not really going to kill many of our creatures. It makes the curse borders a bit more awkward. I just don't think I can be in on Dress. Like, they don't know. They're a lead stampede deck. Lead stampede's great, but it means that they don't have that many of that effect. Again, I think we're running this back. Your curse borders are pretty dubious, especially now I'm on this setup. I've only got 4 Madness Enablers. I guess I've got 5, 6, 7, which is not very many, although I did draw lots of Modern Ages. I might be looking to put back in some, for example, Vampire's Kisses for the Marauders. Again, the Dark Withering was pretty hard to make work, but I definitely don't want to be cutting. Just want to make it castable. Maybe, yeah, I'm just going to say some hedge where I'll do like Vampire's Kisses over the, two blood tokens, a lot more than one. And then 2 Marauders still. Sure. We're going to run with this and see how we do. It doesn't look a great setup. Curse Border is kind of good on turn 2 some of the time, not necessarily good all the time. And now we are well short from actually being able to Affinity, and we've got Bone Shard Sneaky Snacker, that's not really doing a lot. Just don't see how we can keep that. This hand, I'd say, is probably worse than that it also just does nothing. I'm going to keep because I don't want to go to 5. I at least can get my mana safe. I can get a blue and blue back. Probably put back this. My Affinity count is going to be a bit awkward. Looking at play this, get a blue-black duel. Play that turn 2, play a spell bomb. So I've moved to 4, I think I'd rather have had the first hand, just had a removal spell. Just try and keep them off the mana, but I think it was right to move to 6. I don't know whether it was right to keep this, I've been moving to 5. But it's kind of a modern age really ties the room together. It is nice when you're trying to record a deck, and the first league, you do the thing. The first match, you do the thing. It feels a bit sketchier when you're like, hey, look at this deck idea, and the first match just absolutely bombs. Which I'm going to say this is counting as absolutely bombing. Okay, well, hopefully we can beat this. I guess they must have drawn the Dread Return. So that's a bit of a win for us. So we are on that require. I think I am going to play out a spell bomb and keep this almost, if you've only got one, you want to keep it safe. Now that I've got two, I think I can afford to hang it out, and I want to be able to have protect, just slow them down from spying us too soon. So 1, 2, 3, so this one costs 2. Can't put my snacker in the graveyard, so I'm just going to play the snacker, play the seeds. Drop another spell bomb. Again, I don't think we're going to be on Ancient Grudges. Obviously can't attack in that haste. Just play against Spy, draw 2 spell bombs of the game. Still lose. Really don't want to see a Leader Stampede. Kinda don't want to see an Axebane Guardian either. Would still love to see a Modern Mage. Don't mind an X1 Hydra. That's fine. I know it stops me just packing in for 2, but well. Modern Mage fixes a lot of evils. I'm just going to kill this. Start the clock. I do have a Dread Return. Dread Return Hydra. Not the best. Not the scariest thing they could be doing. This is another Hydra. That's quite funny. And I think I'm discarding the island. Just want to keep seeing cards. Maybe I discard the Bone Shards. Yeah, I think I can discard the Bone Shards. That way I can just thought cast down one Mage this time. Hopefully with something else to discard. But I guess knocking Dredger's out of their hand doesn't do a lot. Unlike they had black mana for a while. So I guess now is the time maybe. Because the second refurb's better than the first one. Yeah, I'll discard one Mage. It's annoying because I've only got the one black mana, which is why I was kind of thinking about it. But I can knock some things out of their hand, play to the board a bit. Again, I'm going to say, not the most impressive start to either game. Okay, so I kind of pitch this deck as the cool thing it does is it just gets on the board well. You can, kind of maybe turn 3 or 4. You expect to have, 5+ power of flyers. At least be chipping in, if not chipped in for a bit already. Whoa! Holy refurb, Batman. I'm just never cycling these in-play spell bombs. Discarding this. And yeah, we're just really awkward this game. But you can discard your Dread Return. There's plenty more where that comes from in the future. Discard that lot less giant, okay. I guess if they draw a swamp, they could make us crack a spell bomb. Or obviously a way to make black mana. Don't want to see a Winding Way. A Winding Way can really get them going. So that was for 3 cards. They can't play anything else. Well, they could potentially suck you next turn. I wouldn't think they will. I think they're gonna, well, this is stay impact block. Yeah, who knows. Okay, they do suck you. You get the 4th land. Pass back. So at least we get to play 2 things this turn. So now do we get your Dread Return? play Utrom who can actually start attack them. We've got 3 creatures now who can attack through Hydra. It took us some time, to have the cards in hand, but that was the example where, 2 or 5 power flyers for 2 mana. You just want to do that, 3 or 4 turns earlier. So Battlement's gone. I don't mind losing my reverb hit too much. It could have been much worse. So you have a spy, 2 other cards. Again, the problem is just a generous end really shuts down the whole show. In for 5. At least they're flying, better than just getting jumped by battlements all day. So again, Modern Age is our only blue discard outlet. So this is the end. Yep. So we are back at staring at each other for a little bit, I think. Got cast down, so we've got, what are the last copy of Modern Age. Blood tokens are okay. Utrom is kind of a holding. Oh, we get to play a 1 mana 3/3, don't use 4 mana. I don't think I can afford to cycle my spell bomb. You don't want to see one. I leave the Stampede effect. Or then the next one Hydra. Don't be good. And that's fine. Shame we're losing our withering to this age. We're at the point where a what's it called? Curse Wall doesn't do anything anyway. That's a bit of a shame. Well, playing this out, so we're only 1 land away from 1 mana away from killing the end. And at that point, we're back into getting in for quite a lot of damage, right? They block 3, take 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. Because they're gaining 3 and being able to eat a guy. In this awkward place where so many of our cards are bottled up in never seen this guy for my life. Awkward place, so many of our cards are bottled up in these spell bombs that we're not getting any, we can't cast basically. Now they've got 2 ways to clear our... Are we just dead? They've got 2 ways to clear our artifacts. They have enough mana, which maybe they're short on. They need 8. So we are dead next turn, which is unfortunate. We would rather not be. Yeah, leave the Stampede is a hell of a drug. So we get to draw a card off this. Means you don't draw a card off the second one because we're tied up on black mana. So we can now kill a guy and we just end up 1 damage short. And actually it's even worse than that because the gorilla they can... Oh no, sorcery only. So we drew our Vampire's Kiss, we'd win. It's 2 damage, lets us madness through the end. That is not a vampire's kiss. 2, 4. Yeah, obviously there's nothing else we do that matters, so let's try and show that we were kind of close. Gloves. Tap my mana roll, which is very embarrassing, because it doesn't work anyway. We've even got Mesfiend right still. They'd be able to check our hand and see we don't have anything. Now they just look and also do the maths. And I think they go to 1. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13. I mean, again, it was pretty sad. We didn't really do a lot. Wasn't a great showing for our deck, unfortunately, for round 1. But we were, we were close to beating a multi-4 at least. It could have been worse. Back at it in round 2, hoping for a better showing. And I mean, I'm gonna keep lands and spells. Got a bit of everything going on. Let's start with bolts. So sadly looking to cast the snack up, but if we can get it in combat, we might be doing okay. Don't really want to be Ponza and don't want to expose my resource if I do so, but I kind of have to. Maybe they'll go after the bolt if that's what they have. We know otherwise they might just not Ponza me. Attacks. Go on. Attacks. I'll block. Crazy that they keep a hand that starts this and doesn't play anything on turn 3. That just can't be true. I think I would most likely still play a Thoughtcast next turn if I didn't draw an artifact. Obviously, like another seat is pretty great. Just try and find another blue source to let me explode a bit more. Like, I guess focus on turn 4 rather than turn 3. So I've stopped in a weird phase. Okay, so we do find some more artifacts. And it turns on our withering. So let's do this. I think, as I say, I'm going to Thoughtcast. Although, yeah, so I'd say we don't really get there on that, but it gives us turn 3, we can play the monitor. Turn 4, sorry. Maybe it's right to play the monitor there, but we just kind of give up on using one of our mana, and I like the... Really? Now? That's, I guess, what they're saying as well. Chrysalis looks fine. Acid Moss less fine. So I guess I have to kill this and draw a card. Just choose up some, or remove so much of their mana. Obviously we can draw a blue source. We don't. I hate Ponza. I'm just going to get a bunch more lands killed, and or are they just going to slam a boarding party and see where we go? And kind of fine. I think we still have to kill it, but kind of there's nothing. I don't think there's any consideration to any other play. Cycling a spell bomb's so unlikely to work. We have to use all our mana. See, can't cast these. Don't see cycling a blood token for no value being the play. And obviously we have the second one anyway. So they didn't have this on turn 3, so we have some insight to what they drew. And what a Ponder's Ornament over here. So they can play and start drawing 1 card a turn. Hopefully we can beat 1 card a turn. So we can Island Cycle, play out to Utrom Monitor. I guess we'll play the spell bomb. They've, done the rare Ponza thing where they've drawn more mana sources than they wanted. Normally that turn 6, instead of a generous act, is a boarding party into some other gas. So this one looks okay. I mean, we've got the next spell covered. I guess they're at 15, so 3 turns. I'm not going to be blocking. And I don't think we wither down this guy. I think we just sign up to go to the races. Don't want to see another land destruction spell. He paused. Really paused. What are you thinking about? Nothing. I prefer nothing to something. So now do we... I guess now we weather this. It slows them down. We want to draw a card to try and find another land. I could have floated the mana, I guess, but I don't believe that they wouldn't just go to their second main and do that trick. I say trick, you know what I mean. So, not a lot going on. Our both is fine. So they're going up to 10. Oh, that's a really good draw. I think I just play this and cast outright. Sorry, play this and thought cast. Cast all the way down. Yep, looks decent. I hate Ponza. I played against it twice my last league with this and actually went 2-0. And some of the games were really fun. Being able to basically fight through some land destruction, get on board, and then ping pong and monarch and all that stuff. But they're not all fun. Should still be fine. If they drew a chrysalis as well, we're just suddenly in the bin and taking 6 for the pleasure. Should be fine. I will draw 2 first. Whilst I don't see how it matters. I know I'd just be playing the monitor, wouldn't I? I know they block here, so we're never killing them. Now I have to do maths. So they block here, so we're never killing them this turn. So we play the Utrom and then just have lethal next turn if they don't draw flyer. No, because they attack for 12 and we have to block. No, because if they attack, it's the same as blocking. It's the same as it blocking a creature and moving one. So this seems like clearly the line on our end. We just hope that, I know that we're just being salty, but as I say, they didn't draw very well, and then they suddenly made up for it by drawing 16 mana of stuff off. I know I'm factoring in that a bunch of this mana is in Cascade, but a bunch of the mana costing this, but they still, 7 into 6 into another land destruction spell. Get out of here. So they need to draw a heater. They've got 2 shots at doing it. Need to draw an Ent, a Chrysalis, or an Altasaur, or some other artifact removal. I guess they had 3 shots because they could have had one last turn as well. Like they could have. They played the elf, or they used the elf. They could have had 2 Octosaurs last turn. I know. I'm confused now. So they've drawn 1 here, 1 off the ornament. Another boarding party's annoying. So we take the opportunity to trade here, I think. We just put a snacker in front of it. This way we're guaranteed to have, if we block with this, and they have a reach creature in the same problem. So yeah, we block with a 2 power flyer. That definitely makes sense. Now they have to have 2 reach creatures to kill us. Or generous and they gain some life. Nice. They didn't even draw a card. Surely you look at that card. What are we up to then? I'm not bringing Blue Blasts in this matchup. They're a core green deck, and the worst thing you want is, or the last thing you need is. Yeah, I know they're going to have a load of cast into the fires and stuff. But like, you have this in your hand and they just draw the other half of their deck. I have the Bone Shards. Don't think I want them Marauders. I think they're just too wacky. I don't want the Spell Bombs. I don't think they're going to have Mass Vandals. And the Kisses are a bit questionable. Dresses are questionable. So do I want any of these over Vampire's Kisses? So Warm Blast, so I can be salty around all. Let's just do 1 blast, 1 Order, and we're going to see what we draw. I mean, there's some worlds with Blood Fountains I want to draw them. Blood Fountains I think are going to be reasonable. Yeah, we're going to be in combat. You gotta love this sideboarding. Just like, 1 of each. Real tight 75. Can't keep this. We'll keep this. I mean, still will keep it, but tough call on what you put back. I like that I'm not playing artifacts in the first couple of turns, so cast into the fire isn't absolutely backbreaking. Hate that if I don't do anything the first couple of turns and they just, instead of casting into fire have Stone Rain, I'm just super in the bin. Need the refurb to get to the thought casts. I think I'm putting back the bog sounds crazy. Just more lands is interesting. If I do this and I draw a Blood Fountain away, one of my 2 Kisses, it kind of goes okay. So there's one of my 2 Kisses. Show me Cast into the Fires, not turn to Acid Moss. 3 drops of Thermocast, I'm still in the bin. Yeah, good. No Black Sorcerers for us. So we can get our Black Source, that's good. But we are not allowed to have lands. Hopefully there's just a load of red cards over there. I'm probably playing a really sad turn 2, like turn 4 Vampire's Kiss, so that I can have an explosive turn afterwards if I get to keep my lands, but the other alternative is that I just secure the water. We'll see what they do. So yeah, I think I'm just going to play the Vampire's Kiss. I don't see the value in killing the Cyber Elf. I guess if they've got an Ent, it's useful. It's more interesting to kill next turn to keep them off of Altasaur, but so that's Island Cycle, Refurb, Forecast. See what they discard. I guess I should have refurbed before I Island Cycled. Maybe if there's a cast into the fire or something, they are like, oh, see the Synod, let's kill that. I know I'm salty because it's a deck that I don't think should, we weren't far off. A deck I don't think should be around, or should be played. But we have been objectively lucky with how they've drawn. They've drawn quite poorly. Obviously, so I say that they then spend their 2 Chrysalli and a removal spell. Just 1 Chrysalli. Too kind. They are too kind. Let's just Thoughtcast, see what we can see. And hard not to take Kill This, play Kitchen Imp, right? Don't know what I'm worried about them having, if anything. So let's just do that. So Bone Shards this, discard this. Like, I'm not worried about Breath Weapon. I'll definitely go to them top decking and us not having a board there. Shame we didn't get to use a mana. Where will it stop? Only an Eldrazi repurpose, that's fine. We still take 7. And a Rumble into a Christmas. So I think we're, a bit behind. I don't think we're massive dogs here. We've still got so many cards, and the Blood Fountain is pretty good. Let's go. My first thought was just try and get the maximum value, which would be like discard Snacker, then Blood Token it back. And to put it back into play. The other option is that I just play the Snacker. The other option is that I, use, play Marauder. I think I can safely start on Modern Age. I don't think I'm going to Marauder Snacker this turn. I should have played this off of 2 islands though, shouldn't I? Really? That's disappointing. I'm just going to play the most spells I can, use the most mana I can, and accept that I'll jump this for a turn. Well, Hydroblast does something. Yeah, it's quite funny. So I guess I'm discarding the Marauder, which I'm not against. Marauder's not very strong. So then I attack for 4. I'm not set to get through any more damage next turn. The Chrysalis is going to be absolutely ginormous. But we do have 2 Modern Ages going to see a lot of cards. We're not a million miles off being able to bring back reverbs, which just feels great. Four, 5, 6, 7. Ultrasaw into rumble. Okay. Rumble into probably an ultrasaw. So we will kill this, obviously. Destroy this. Take 4. Discard this. Discard this one. Ultrasaw is just way better than Chrysalis. You know, this is slightly bigger. This has trample. And we can Blood Fountain and block in a way that we're going to get back some creatures. It seems better than starting popping blood tokens, just looking for something we don't know what. And then we might as well, I think, play the Swamp, because with the Blood Fountain we're going to have a lot of ways to use mana. In terms of if we're getting back creatures, we're going to. I know that the whole point of our deck is that creatures are very cheap, but also gives us some weird option of maybe in some world we want to just pop 3 blood tokens, bring back a snacker. If we had kept it in, I know, not if we kept it in hand, because then we wouldn't have had our 3rd blood token. This is the Ultrasaw that we know about. And where's the wheel going to stop? Utopia's Fall. Yeah, again, they've we can't be too unhappy. We can be unhappy. We can't be too unhappy. So I think I'm definitely blocking with the Imp. The question is, do I want to block with anything else? Prevent 3 damage and not get back the Accursed Border. Basically, if I block with a refurb, I can just knock this card out of their hand instead. Some world there where I think I'm blocking, I'm just actually eating this, trading with it, let's say. That's more accurate. So we're drawing 1 card for the turn, 1 card to ban this back the Kitchen Imp. That's 1 blood token. So we've got, another blood token to go. So let's kill that. I don't really like this because the whole point of this play is that I'm not getting back this Accursed Border anyway. If we are double blocking, let's not put an artifact in front of this, not that it matters. So yeah, we're kind of doing this blocking because if we draw an Accursed, because our Accursed Border gets better if they don't have creatures in play. But we're blocking so that we're going to get back a refurb instead of a Accursed Border anyway. So it doesn't really make much sense. But I'm going to do it. We're getting back these 2. Means we've got a bit more leeway on the Ultrasaw as well. So, Kitchen Imp refurb. Well, it gives us something to do with our blood tokens. Let's refurb first. Boarding Party is good to get out of their hand. And that's better than using blood token, surely. Where's my exile gone? Guess I can kill this in combat. 1, 2, 3 here, this here. And I'm just on snackers to keep the chrysalis at bay. I've still got 3 blood fountains in my deck, so I've got a whole bunch of recursion. I'm seeing 2 cards a turn, probably more. I think I'm killing this. There's actually also the other thing here where if we just block with 1, they're dead. We just chump this. Having them be just dead is pretty tempting. We can just basically defer it for a turn. Sure. I think I'd rather block with a refurb than the kitchen imps. No, that's probably not true. It's very risky to try and kill this in combat. To get blown out by removal. Very risky to try and kill it in. Not in combat, like try and swing for lethal as well. It would have to be basically these 4 block here, this block's here. And we're still like miles away from killing this. Okay, I'm just going to try and play safe. I don't know what we get. I don't know how we get blown out here. Apart from it just, yeah. But equally the ceiling is that it never goes that well for us. So they were just dead. But we draw a blood fountain, which is... Okay, that's just guess. So, blood fountain, which is... Get back a refurb, get back in a curse mortar because the snacker's coming back anyway. And just rip an island for good measure. We can attack for 4. I mean, we're dead to like a breath weapon, but we're not worried about breath weapon. Funny that they played the forest out, which meant that we could get the extra snack back from the refurb. Yeah, so I don't know. This was an example of the deck kind of did its thing and was quite cool. We actually just powered over. You know, I know they drew a bunch of lands. Maybe I'm talking too much, but we just got in combat a lot with the red-green monster deck with our blue-black flyer deck and won. That's kind of cool. I know that they didn't get that lucky. They still drew, 2 Chrysali. They played a whole bunch of Ultrasaurs. They weren't doing nothing. Right. Up for round 3, still on the play. We're running hot up against Frank Bonaparte. I was about to just click keep and then looking at this hand, it really doesn't do anything. So we're still going to click keep, but we're going to know it needs to draw something. One of these, it's close to party mode. There's a lot of cards in here that say Affinity. There's just not many that say Artifact. But can't let that keep you down. What's like a Glint Blade or a Stone Blade deck? Some Glint Hawk thing. So I just want to see an artifact or a sneaky snacker. We see an artifact and we can discard probably the cast down. And what we have a casting down, like a core Skyfisher to turn our little creatures on, our refurbs on. I'm picturing this being a like Glint Hawk or Skyfish deck, so we can definitely keep the Utrom. And yeah, I don't discard thought casts. You have to be a much stronger man than me to discard a thought cast, ever. So we see 2 more cards for a way for our deck to function. We see one more card looking for a way for our deck to function. Our deck will start doing not a lot next turn, but the turn afterwards, now let me tell you about turn 5. We're going to be cooking on turn 5. So it's a more glint blade, slower deck, back right. Guess we are snacking. Sorry, refurbing. So we need the affinity count. They refurb us back. Boy, have we got a surprise in store for them. Love discarding this core Skyfisher for us. Oh no. Okay, so we're sorted by drawing the swamp, right? We can double refurb. I know they've got a Grim Bauble back, but hey. Black, blue. This puts 3 into play, yeah. Just draw 3 refurbs, and the rest sorts itself out. They also have refurbs, which is very rude of them. But we do get to keep, at least by the looks of it, 3 artifacts start our turn, which means we can finally start getting some value. So I'm pretty happy with how this is going. Looks like we're going to be Lorien building for 5 mana. More likely than not. Guess I'll probably Modern Age to kill this. And Dark Withering this. It is tempting to still discard the Snacker, but we know they're going to have their own refurbs, so having something to madness out is also appealing. Let's see what we draw. I think with that, I want to discard the Withering. Just slow the game right down. We've got a Lorien revealed. We can discard the Snacker next turn if nothing else changes. There's a bit of a hesitation, but they might well have some Ninja. So I don't want them to have 2 refurbs now, or the 4 mana Ninja where you discard 2. That would be annoying. I'd probably end up cycling the Spell Bomb just to keep the Lorien. Okay, so there, reserve 3 of them. I feel fine. I think we are now comfortably ahead. It's a shame we don't get to discard the Snacker for value as well. We just get to draw 3. And do I draw 3 or do I just play 2 Snackers? And play to the board. I'm just going to draw 3. You've seen how many cards 3 cards is? I can't even count that high. So they kept 1 card, probably like a Glint Hawk or a Skyfisher to reset the Lembus is my guess. Or a Ninja. Ninja's pretty good. It's not getting in again though. And the Snackers are arriving to shut this thing down. Gonna keep playing lands because again we've got a billion Blood Fountains in our deck. And I'm expecting I'm going to Spellbomb in their I'll Spellbomb something pretty soon. Let's see what they do. Top, bottom. I don't think that's what they topped. Yeah, I mean, I've used 2 Thraben Charms already. I'm going to tap out to crack this clue. I think I save the spell bomb, we've got so much mana end of turning it doesn't matter. Only having to draw one more card, for example, in Modern Age, is much better. And then I guess if we're doing that, we spell bomb first, we can draw a Madness card more easily. Or a Thoughtcast. I'm going to play the land then, get a bit more discount. I don't want to play things for all this mana. And then we've got Blood Fountain, crack it whilst they're tapped out. Just get in whilst the getting's good. All these cards black. Let's split refurb and Utrom. Do we just double refurb? Double refurb sucks if they have a Skyfisher, but it's just so many cards. So again, we'll just block up. We've got the Snackers coming back. Hand is full of gas. Can't kill this guy. We can kill a Skyfisher with a Withering. This is, we're back into, they're kind of doing their thing, we're kind of doing our thing. And we've just got so much gas. I'm saying that we've got 4 cards, we've got 5 cards, they've got 4, but 2 of ours are refurbs. Refurbs are hell of a drug. We're drawing at least an extra card from the Withering here. So I guess we attack first. Not that I think it will matter. Refurb you. Refurb you. I mean, the Surveil, the Suffocating Fumes is pretty nice. Discard a Vault. Let's discard this, bring back a Snacker. And then let's give him a kiss. So, I was going to say, actually, cards and hand-wise, we're back into the, relative parity, but obviously we made 4 creatures in our turn. Let's see whether they can do the same. Doesn't look like they are keeping up. And I kill this and then try. 8. So let's try not to get dusted out of our goddamn mind. Want the dresses. Spell bombs, I don't think are going to do too much. Let's just have a quick look at the Orzhov Blade list and remember. Yeah, so there's the one Omen of the Dead that is kind of hard to get rid of. I want dresses because I don't want to get dusted. What do I cut? It might be the spell bomb, so I can capture, so I can counter the Omen of the Dead, catch a Skyfisher. It could just be some Dark Witherings. I don't think I want more spell bombs. There's only one Omen of the Dead anyway. I'm gonna cut the Witherings for the dresses. I've got 2 cast downs. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this. Could also see cutting the cast down and keeping the Withering. But we'll rock and roll with this. I'm kind of guessing, I guess I'm saying that I don't want to be, I think we're just going to get into combat in the air a lot. And I think that's okay. Hopefully they don't beat us at that. I should keep the removal. Okay, I'm going to keep this because I don't want to get dusted, and this hand doesn't get dusted. There's a reasonable risk that it also misses dresses. I was trying to work out whether I want to bridge turn 1 and save the rest for turn 2, so they've got another card to draw. But there's Lembus that this catches, and now especially I can, if I do this, see the coast is clear, I can Modern Age. So let's see what's going on. Arms of Adar and Air. That looks fine. And if you want to call Skyfisher for not value. Ha! Got him. So I have this time around, that's fine. I can Modern Age. They're so far away from dust. I think I want to Modern Age this turn. Obviously discard, no value. I think it might even be the dress. The chance of just catching a card they care about this. They care about, we know that it happened in hand. The chance of catching one that matters is so low. We can't actually get back Snacker still. I'll discard the island to this. The Blood Fountain already. It's actually looking a lot worse than I thought it was. Oh, it's not anymore. It's not anymore. Now it's looking hunky-dory. Actually, slightly less than hunky-dory because I can't actually play anything this turn. I have not got the affinity that I thought I had. I'll block. We've got Blood Fountains. They've got Arms of Adars. So, Blood Fountain lets us do both of these. We'll cast first, get back snacks. Big snacks. Play Utrom. Again, Dust to Dust, pretty rough. Kill, I had both our blue sources going. But we still have a 3/3 in that case. It's honest work. That is good, honest work. I will Island Cycle. Again, kind of as we showed last game, the deck just doesn't, or it does a pretty good job of not running out of things to do. So we'll just keep on playing magic cards. I've got the Blood Fountain in play, so getting to 4 mana is that break point. I think I just block once. It's really bad if it's the Omen of the Dead if we kill one. This is really bad if it's a way to reset the Grim Bauble. Double blocking sucks if it's a removal spell. This is just free, right? Not free, it could be the Grim Bauble reset, but close to free. Discard the dress again. So I think we're just whomping them. And then we'll Thoughtcast after combat, see what they do. Not at all. I could see some world where we just try and get back some creatures now. But I've never seen a modern age I didn't like. Yeah, if I just pass with 4 mana up and then they what do you call it? Have a Thraben Charm, it's pretty annoying, pretty rough. Whereas if I just keep, drawing cards, playing modern ages, I don't see how it can go that badly. If they're trying to race me, I think it's, well, I don't know, I think racing goes fine for me. Okay, they take out the Blood Fountain, that's pretty good. So they turn off the Blood Fountain, is what I meant to say. I don't think this choice matters. Guess I'll attack with the Imp. I'll trade it for this, like none of these creatures are going to matter in a minute. I've got a Blood Fountain. Boy, have I got some blood. I am out for blood. Refurb. What do you say? What do you say about refurb? You say I had a swamp. I think I'm going to cycle one of these. I've got so many cards that go pretty nuts. This being one of them. Kill this, and this means I can attack and trade a Vector Glider for, a Vector Glider for a Glint Hawk and 2 damage. It's not a great deal. When they're at 8 going to 6 from that, then it becomes a pretty good deal. I guess it'll be 6 going up to 9. Maybe I should wait an extra turn for the other Vector Glider to be able to attack as well. That was a bit loose. But if you just keep drawing refurbs, it all works out. So they kill that, we cycle. Yeah, that's pretty good. They're dead on board. I guess not, they could chump here. That's basically dead. We're protected to Arms Hebadar even. What's not to like? Tithing Blade. I think I'm going to lose an Imp because it can. We're 1 mana away from Blood Fountaining it back. I'm just going to attack with the creatures that don't die. Yeah, keep drawing heaters. Just all good stuff all the way down. Bangers all the way down. This card advantage thing's cute. Nice. So 2 and 1. Looked really bad the first game. Beat Mult 4. No, lost from Mult 4. Right? Beat some kind of sketchy hands from the opponents and the other ones, but the deck's kind of doing what it's supposed to. Alright, back for round 4. We won the die roll again. Nice to be us. I'm going to keep turn 2 Modern Age, discard this. Next turn, discard the Imp. I'd like to have a way to draw an extra card, but we're set to have start turn 4 with 4 power in play. Already got him for 2. And if we're discarding this, which counts as a card, if we're discarding this and playing it, we're basically drawing 2 cards as well. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. That was going to be the island I was going to fetch to use my other mana next turn. So I think we still, you know, we only have so many madness things we need to discard here. Cast this. Just play the Aquafire. Get in for 2, and I guess we'll get like a. Guess we'll land cycle this. Maybe we don't. Doesn't seem like a great plan to try and cast a 5-drop. Seems like a better plan to try and cast a 5-drop when we're not taking enough that much damage yet. So the plan for next turn is refurb cast down. So I'm just going to get another blue-black duel. It's not bad. Oh, I can't actually refurb for 1 mana. So getting this tapped is a massive pain, yes. That's really annoying. I should have seen that. Oh well. And now I've been annoyed about that, so I've just cast down and then shown them I've got refurb. Where obviously, like, what they discarded would probably be different if they thought they had got to snipe and play. I was trying to work out whether there was some world where I played the Blood Fountain. But it shouldn't matter because I can always Blood Fountain, crack it with a seat, and then Madness next turn anyway. Hey, now it's only 1 mana. Hey, that was silly. Why did I kill this first? I just panicked about taking the wrong card and being silly. You can see discarding a lab that's natural anyway, maybe it didn't matter. You could see a world where if they had another gut snipe, they'd discard it with 1 in play. Like maybe if it was another pinger, but so Blood Fountain, Kitchen Imp. Really annoying that we don't have this black source in play. So they can always just kill a refurb to stop us having lethal next turn. Does that mean we want to keep anybody home? To prevent 2 damage? Not really. Shame we never got this snacker. You know, the extra 2 damage a pop would really be adding up. But it can't be too sad about how we've drawn 2 fair, can we? So down to 15, effectively 12. Feels like a Vampire's Kiss would be a hell of a draw. Feels like without a Vampire's Kiss, we're going to be struggling. So we're dead to a Fire Blast, amongst other things. Mostly Fire Blast, or just 2 bolts. Or not drawing a Vampire's Kiss is one of the other things we're dead to. Looks like a blast. Smells like a blast. So that was kind of a shame. We kind of did okay as a thing. We're like 1 mana away from really humming, where we ended up not really humming, but still wasn't all bad. So I don't think I want my Blood Fountains in for this match. Obviously I do think I want all of my blasty stuff. I still think I want the refurbs. Vampire's Kisses are a bit weird. I don't think I want any of this. I think I want all my removal and my blasts. But still having 6 cards to cut here is... How did that work out? I've cut 4. So I've added 8. Oh, with the 2 spell bombs. Maybe I cut the witherings if they're a bit clunky. Cut the Modern Age. 2 mana for a blue spell. I could see maybe a world we don't need all the spell bombs. Let's go 3 spell bombs. Ugh, so many cuts. I'm pretty sure I want the dresses. Just anything to interact and slow them down a bit. Weirdly, I could see it being the Modern Ages coming out. Basically, it's 2 damage and 2 life, better than it being blue and then having a 2/3. Quite possibly. And then one of the witherings, because I've got a load of discard stuff. Okay, that's a weird sideboard thing. Not sure I love it. I'm going to give it a go. Weird to cut 2 power flyers. See, Mulligan, obviously keep. Again, it's a braver man than me that cuts a that discards a Thoughtcast. I think I'm putting back the spell bomb. We'll figure it out. I feel like it's going to be quite a slow start on our end, but you know, we've kind of got we've got a draw to, we've got some value. We've drawn another untapped land. I think I can afford to just put some blood tokens into play to turn the snacker on. Obviously turn the Thoughtcast on. Cool thing, 3/4 blood token for mana. I'm not sure if it actually does matter, but we can Thoughtcast that in response blood token. I guess it means that we can't do it now anyway. It saves us some mana, but I don't see how we're going to use that mana anyway. So let's hold control. Play a Thoughtcast. Why does this matter? No, it does, because otherwise I'd lose a... If I blood token first, then I lose an affinity count. So, the risk of our lands, but again it's a, turn 4 power, a bit more, we'll end turn 4 with 9 power, right? Just a shame about this gutter snipe killing us. Well, they do get a gutter snipe. I guess I just get an island and I don't actually put the kitchen imp into play just yet. I can resolve a kiss and gain a bit more life. So I believe this is 1 mana. No, I don't even play the kiss this turn, do I? Just double Utrom. Give them the Utes. Hit for 4. 14. And this is 14. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Well, 2 gutter snipes is a lot of snipes. That works out. Obviously, they don't kill a guy. We kill them if they do, we at least get one of these out of the way. Nobody expects the kiss. See, that was cool. Had a nice big board. Helped being on the play, that's for sure. Any changes? I don't think so. I think we're just running it back. Dresses are probably a bit questionable, but this is another one of these hands that needs to draw something, like needs to draw an artifact creator, of which we've really only got lands and Vampire's Kisses. Vampire's Kiss is pretty slow. We can turn 2 just play a snacker, turn 3 play a refurb. It's not undoable. So like, it doesn't sound strong, but I think I'm just going to plough ahead with this. Might well be the next turn I snacker and duress them. Obviously, the downside of this hand is that I've not had many artifacts for all of my affinity cards. The benefit is that I've not given them a target yet for cast into the fire type effects. Lava Dart hits the bin. So 1, 2. Play Vault, play Spell Bomb, and this costs 2. I kind of lose my opportunity to dress them, but then my artifact stuff is turned on. I think I'm okay with that. I don't want to be smashed to smithereens. That would be rude. But being able to play this for 2 mana, this for 1. Again, the problem with that, I'm not actually interacting with them, right? So kind of limits the range of hands I beat, but also I've not drawn that many cast downs or blue blasts. So far this match. Don't want to see a snacker hit the bin so much. Faithless Looting, yeah, it's fine. This is doing quite a lot of the heavy lifting as an affinity count right now. Game doesn't feel, I don't think I'm favoured. It doesn't currently look awful. We'll see, it depends on how good their turn is, and the fact that we're just a turn behind, well, the fact that we're on the play after winning every duck roll this league feels slightly painful. I think I'm fine with this. Like, again, my artifact count does get knocked back a ton, but they're not really doing anything. 2 damage, I'll take 2 damage per turn I get in for 4. I'll take that. 2 mana, so I can't play any of my affinity stuff. I can snack or I can duress them. I think I'm just going to bog them and then snack. Like, I'm not even sure if casting with fire kill 2 guys might not be friendly. Love them sacrificing a land as well. Kind of pointing towards, I've just got a million, a lot more lands in hand. yeah, you know, we're not very close to casting these now, keeping our artifacts, but they don't look to be doing much. And basically, if I'm not doing much, I'd rather they're not doing much, rather than I've got a bit of a clunk. Yeah, I'd rather us both be in the bin and then draw out of it than me be in the bin and then be humming. So into 4. My artifact count goes up to 3. So it's still nothing doing, but I do duress you. And I guess I'm taking this Vathus looting, which is absolutely hilarious. Have your Pyroblast against my hand full of blue cards. That's quite funny. I've enjoyed that. They do go for a robbery. It wouldn't surprise me if they tap some mana. No. They discard one of the Pyroblasts. Plus another guy. Will you go to 4? Will you blast a man? So if we play the Utrom Monitor, they blast it. Well, basically, we only get to play one guy, so we'll play the Utrom. Oh, that means we get to go again. That's annoying. I didn't think this would resolve, so I'd have Lorien first. It shouldn't matter. You blue blast this one, right? I now get to play for 3 off of 1 man off the Utrom. Yeah, I thought they were going to kill this. Obviously, if I have my... Oh, I should play... Oh, they killed the guy, not the... not Lorien. And that's draw 2. That's boring. So sacrifice a land, draw 2. Yeah, okay, I might well just be dead. I'd have rather had this extra land in play. Not miss my land drop. By F6 in. I thought they were going to kill the counter rather than kill the Utrom, and then I would not be able to Lorien to make the land drop. Nice. Didn't think I was going to win that one. That was a real... Okay. Okay, yeah. It was about to get a lot better. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, no, I didn't think I was going to win that one, but it kind of all came together okay. 5 for 5. What's not to like? MTGO Premium is worth it. And I'm going to play the Modern Age, see where we go. Don't love the Vampire's Kisses against buff, tends to be playing controlling things. Knows his way around a spell stutter sprite. I think I'm definitely playing the Modern Age. So there's some consideration to if I play a Vampire's Kiss. So playing Modern Age and being able to get a 2/3 in play is pretty good. If I played a Vampire's Kiss, then I could refurb, and if that resolved, Thoughtcast, which is very strong. But let's just get this rolling. Pretty happy with that. We can discard the Spell Bomb. It's just begging to be spell stuttered. So I think I'm just hard casting a refurb here. Question is, what am I discarding? I think it's one of the kisses. Can be counterspelled, can't be spell stuttered. Next turn I've got a 2/3. Not a million miles away from revealing Lorien. Love an off one mind. Vampire's Kiss. So 3 mana, so we can't necessarily do that Sneaky Snacker Thoughtcast trick the same way. I might just play a Sneaky Snacker. And they've used one counterspell. We just, as long as we try and keep blocking so they can't do ninja stuff, and play things that can't be sprited, things feel okay. Do I even want to attack? You know, obviously there's all the intruders and stuff that stop that working. I'll just Thoughtcast. Come up the air. I'd love to be on fairies and just run into all flyers deck, right? Very tempting to just play Lorien Revealed, send a message. Could be sprited. We can just Blood Fountain, Blood Token out Kitchen Imp. Just go play Lorien Revealed. I'm going to get Spell Pierced for the rest of the game anyway. So it's not like I can play around it. I used a counterspell already. 6 lands, a lot of lands. And we're kind of going to have to start attacking and working our way through these stupid intruder type things sooner or later. I think I can do it by just attacking with the sprite. And then I'll use my blood tokens to play 2 imps after combat. Or in combat next turn, for that matter. I was considering there whether I Spellbomb, and if they, counter I can Blood Fountain, but so much patience. I'm gonna draw 2. Make 2 2/2s. Just gets better. So we've got 3 artifacts. How do we attack now? I think it's just a snacker again. So they've got enough for 2 sprites now. I think I'm just on this and say go. I'm genuinely at risk of losing this to play. Like how the board is, how the decks line up, feels like I should never be at any risk of losing this. Apart from I'm playing so scared. Yeah. Okay. Now that they've tapped a load of mana, I can. Yeah, if there's not 2 sprites, I can definitely resolve the Blood Fountain. I can just rumble, basically. They've not got that much life. I've already got 2 creatures in the graveyard. There's no way they counter that. So I don't really like that I played it. I'm just gonna keep ticking away. Gonna play the Lorien Revealed. I'm ahead, I'm getting further ahead. What's not to like? I've got 7 cards in hand, so almost as long as I don't find some way to get myself in trouble. And I'll give them a chance to put this in my graveyard. going to happen sooner or later. I'm going to try and thoughtcast it back out. So if they counterspelled that, I'd probably play the Modern Age. As is, I think I'm just going to try and hold up Hardcast Dark Withering. Really send them a message. Do you know how many fairies it takes to counter at Dark Withering? I think they just kill a fairy. Then my Utrom can attack. I guess I can play around a sprite. Oh, sorry, they could kill it with the sprite, but that's fine. Let's speed up our clock a little bit. Yeah, so it's 3 mana to do something. I don't like this attack. I feel like I definitely lose a Utrom Monitor. If I had a blood token in play, it'd be a lot nicer, because then I could, wither something. If they interacted, I'd have mana to do blood fountain stuff. But 4 fairies, that's annoying. It's nearly enough to interact with the dark blue. Quite tempted to crack my spell bomb. It's kind of what the question is, what am I looking for, right? Most of my stuff, like apart from Thoughtcast of Utroms, just gets sprited now. 4, 6. 8. So I can kind of get some Dark Withering action in combat. Or even just kill one of these again. That's not great. I'm spending so much time on this. I don't want to attack, so I'm going to crack the spell bomb and see what we can see. When we do decide to play out our cards, it's very, very powerful. Two, 4, 7, 9. I think I'm going to pass one more time. And then basically be looking to almost alpha. I'd love to see him just spend more mana. But basically looking for a way that I can alpha strike and then spend a load of mana. Discarding to hand size, Matt. I think I'll give them a snacking. I can always play the other one. So I'm kind of incentivized to be, they can sprite if they want. I'm kind of putting myself up. I've got a big benefit if I get to bring these back. Maybe that's bad, because again I'm kind of saying I'm just going to alpha, aren't I? Okay. Now we're cooking. I think just having these 2 blood fountains is going to be enough to lock it up. It's got too many hits. I don't think I played a land this turn. I kind of want to just discard the Dark Withering. I guess I'll discard the Custom. Point is, then I can try and play a Blood Fountain. I would expect they might well have another sprite. So why I kind of, I don't know. I'm playing too scared around everything. Okay, so now I've got the option of getting back to creatures, or I can just get back my snackers. I've got this in play to fight through the snacks, the sprites. I'm just going to play the Blood Fountain as well. Feels like we weren't ever realistically. I don't know. It feels like we weren't really going to lose this game, but I kind of put myself in a tricky situation with it. I block like this, and then they get back their intruders and win can make combat a lot easier. We just block like this. Limit the number of the amount of intruding they can do. They get to draw some extra cards off miscreants. But I guess I'll block this. Let's do this. Let's do this. So again, they find that they have more intruders, but I don't want them to be able to start the intruder chain, basically. As is, they do get to draw, what's this, 3 cards plus a card off the miscreant. But sure, more snackers. 1, 2, 3. So this resolves. I thought it resolved. Yeah, I agree. We don't really have much sideboarding to do here. So I've also got to come over all tired like. There's not really a lot of sideboarding to do. I don't think we need too much. They're just going to have a bunch of annuls, probably, like this. What's in Fairy's deck? Let's have a look. So I'm expecting there's a couple of relics, a couple of steel sabotages, a few more removal spells. The relics are tricky because it means that we can't just rely on Blood Fountain, kind of like we did that game as our big closer. Curse Border against the bunch of Vine Bower intruders isn't very good. I think we're just running it back. Don't like the spell bomb. I don't like all the 1-drops where it's hard for us to attack in through a lot of what they could have, but I think we just have to be a bit more aggressive this time. Almost. How it lined up, it was fine, but I wouldn't necessarily always want to just let them get to a point where they have all of the sprites and counterspells in the world. We still have to find a way to make progress. I think we'd rather be a bit more momentum-y again. So let's keep this. Shame we can't turn 1 the Blood Fountain. And put back the Kiss. We're going 10-1 bridge. Don't want to be still sabotaged, but we'll accept if it happens. So I think I'm playing the refurb. Seek refurb here. And then trying to just get in combat with the ninja. know I can do better than that, can't I? I can go Blood Fountain, make a 3/3. So expect them to have a bunch of fire shatters now, but nice. I think I'm probably here going to madness out Kitchen Imp in their turn. I don't know. I don't want to run my guy into. Okay, well, that makes it easy. I was going to say I don't want to run my refurb into a steel sabotage, but if I can, if doing that means I resolve the Utrom, that becomes tempting again. And just play a black one, tapped black source. They tap a guy. That's fine. We've got the Blood Fountain. We've got four mana, so I don't hate just putting my guy in the bin if they do have an intruder. They have to attack. I know. So they don't. They still have to attack, but they don't have to let me kill my guy. So good. I think I'm just attacking with the refurb. Feel like not auto-yielding may have signalled I've got Kitchen Imp intentions. And I mean, I don't hate this. I kind of hate this bit. So if they counter this, they can't crack the relic. And I think I'd rather have the Utrom than the refurb. It's this kind of crap spot again, isn't it? Can't put any cards in the bin, so the relic is gaining on me. Feels like I have to be aggressive. Hard but not impossible for them to have the intruder. Don't love it. So I think I'm blocking here. No, I don't think I am. Big ninja. So this means that they can tap my Utrom and kill it. Now they scry instead, which I think is probably fair. Whether that means they've got another way to tap my guy or not, I don't know. Guess I should have tapped this. If I'm using it, I should have done it in the own step. So I'm saying I'll find a way to justify not having used it. I don't like this. I don't like what I've done. I feel like attacking last turn was pretty rough. Again, the problem is that the relic's going to keep me in check for forever, and I don't see how I'm unpicking that. I think I'm blocking. I'm just letting them relic away again. Ugh. What have I done? What have I done to this game? You can relic me. That happens. I'm going to say I'm going to try this. I've got a few cards in hand. I hope they're scary. They kind of are. I'm going to pass with some material. Ugh. Love that it was kind of like that it was counterspell, not sprite. Having to worry about sprite ninja is pretty good. I hate that attack from a few turns ago. I hate them drawing door twos. Love me drawing door twos. I hate this. I hate this very much. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I lose this game. Don't let this resolve. This is so bad for me. If this was, if you're like, yeah, that's actually fine. I don't think it's good for me either. But... Right, let's get into game 3. So I think the attack was bad. I think that we kind of ran into that point where we got them low on resources, but then we, would have struggled to resolve anything for a while, and it could easily go downhill from there. Do I want duresses? Not really. Duress over Spellbomb. Spellbomb cycle, Spellbomb's Affinity count. I'm just going to run it back. Yeah, I don't know. The attack was really bad. And then again, we just kind of stopped playing aggressively and just let them have turns to find the things that were going to line up and kill us. I've played better. I've definitely played better. It was more just not having a plan as to like, either I'm just going to stick to Utromming and try and get the relic out of the way as soon as possible. Part of me is like, having duress is good because if I know what's over there, okay, if I know what's over there, I think it's a lot easier to play. I'm going to have 2 duresses and cut 2 spell bombs. If I ever know the coast is clear, it does an awful lot. So this is a pretty good hand. Not a hand that wants to get, wants to get still sabotaged, etc. But wouldn't do that to me. Yeah, again against fairies, we've got 3 flyers. All good. Modern Age or Kiss? It's got to be Modern Age. I'd love to see more kitchen ups. So we're not going to get the snacker back this turn cycle. And I think that's fine. I think I'm just going to kiss them and smash. I think I'm saying you can have another turn to mess around with fairy stuff. I don't think you're going to ninjutsu again. I'm not blocking here and getting blown out by intruder. If you want to pick up and replay your fairies here again, that's fine. If you don't, I'm going to start cracking in for 4 and I'm actually going to, trouble you in the race, let's say. Yeah, that's a lot. I know that it's a good turn to draw a lot of cards, but it's a lot of mana to use to do it. Discard kitchen. Kitchen. Did I leave myself enough artifacts? 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. Love to see it. See, I think I'm just smashing. Like Cryo Shatter, sure. No effects. I do now need to work out what attacking I'm doing this turn. I think I need to play a fairy in order to actually be threatening to do any blocking. So now if they intrude, they can't sprite, and they can only pick off one imp. Intrude they can't counter, sorry, that's what I mean. We do need to hit something off of these three. So I think I'm in with everybody. So they sure do get to do a lot of manipulating their hand around. I'm hoping that, you know, they can't fix it soon enough. I'm pretty happy with them discarding a relic if it's there, only one. If it's a second, obviously it is what it is. A relic and a counterspell. So I'm just battling again. Let's give them the business. Okay. So we were fortunate that plan worked out in that spot. I think we were, you know, the deck matchup really helps, and we kept, you know, drew more gas when we needed to, didn't flood out on lands. So 4-1 again. You know, it's a good record. The match we lost was very unconvincing. The rest of them were okay. Let's get back to look at the deck list. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to convince anyone that this is a tier. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to convince anyone this is soon to be a tier deck. It just showed the inconsistency that, you know, a deck that can't be irrelevant for it is not a good place to be. Even if that only happens very rarely. It was a bit less powerful than the other game, in the first league I had, where we so frequently did a really good job of getting on the board with flyers and all that. But there's clearly a lot of power here. I like that it's all flying creatures and you can keep getting in. I like that you can go almost over the top of a lot of the other engines people are choosing to play. But you do still have the limitations over your mana base, and this kind of draw the one half of your deck. I think I'll vaguely keep working on it. Things that, almost slots I don't like. Something around the spell bombs. Something around like the bone shards. I like most of what I've got going on in the sideboard. Don't love these. And the other option, I think, that would vastly improve the power of the deck is if it can fit in Crackdown Shaman. But I just don't see, I can't see the number of slots to fit in, red sources without slowing down your mana, or ways to filter into red mana without taking up cards or mana in the early turns. Actual card Crackdown Shaman. I just don't see where you find the slots. If somebody can figure that out, I think that could be enough to push it into a really powerful deck. Just the idea that you play your hand full of flyers and a Crackdown Shaman, sack all your board apart from the flyers. If that's against the Wall Spy deck that we lost to, we wipe the board. They've no longer got the mana to play their big spells. Looks promising. But yeah, no, I find it a really fun deck to play. When it hums, boy does it hum. But it can still be a bit clunky. But good fun.